Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. We're starting off with this picture of Sophie. I don't remember seeing her in this hat, but wow, she looks phenomenal. I've always liked her, really have. We're doing what we usually do. We have a couple of updates, and then we're going to jump right in to our big story. So let's just go there, shall we? Let's go. To begin this morning, I found this story that said that Meghan is pushing Prince Harry to end his friendship with Eugenie and Beatrice, his cousins. I love the way the article makes it sound like they're just friends. He has absolutely kept in touch with Eugenie, and she is the mole in the family feeding Harry and Meghan the information. I'd heard that multiple times, and it was just confirmed to me. Here they are sitting together at the Super Bowl. Yes, Eugenie flew to the United States. I wonder if her husband and baby came with her or if it was just her. Obviously, she's staying at Harry and Meghan's house. And Harry in this picture looks completely spaced out. But that's not really what caught my attention. This picture caught my attention because of Harry's hair. Have you guys ever noticed how he doesn't have hair? He does, he doesn't. I think he's wearing a hairpiece. Let me zoom in a little closer for you. Do you guys see that on top where the color doesn't match? I'm serious. I think he got a hairpiece, and that's what we've been seeing because he's probably gone completely bald. And in Hollywood, you can't do that, I guess. The other thing I was considering was that he got a hair transplant. That's what it looked like on his last Zoom call. Anyway, these pictures confirm to me that Eugenie is the mole who's been feeding information. Considering the trouble her dad's in, I'm really shocked that she's doing that. She needs to, shut up, put her head down, and get on with it. All right, this update is literally going to barely be touched on because we already know they're at risk of losing their deals, but I don't think the deals are going to be pulled out because I feel like Spotify and Netflix feel that they've already invested so much time and effort into them that they have hired staff to help them produce something. Now, when that something that's produced doesn't do well, then the contracts will go bye-bye. All right, moving on. And the last update is a story that came out that said that the two of them are struggling to make friends. Gee, you think? People have seen them for who they are. They trash their family. They repeat things they shouldn't. People in that area, the uber wealthy, want discreetness and silence. And these two have shown that they can't keep their mouths shut. They've shown that all they're interested in is fame and money. You saw what happened with the Obamas. We all heard the stories about Meghan sending out invitations, trying to have lunches and dinners, and people not RSVPing and not going because they figured these two out, right? All right, moving on to our main story for today. Remember, Harry came out to talk about HIV while William was in Dubai. And he said, I'm doing it to continue my mother's work, blah, blah, blah. We all heard what he had to say. And then this information came out. Now, this is an older article, but it's resurfaced because while Harry's screaming about HIV from his lofty mansion, it appears that this person got lost in the fray, right? So stick with me. All right, so they're saying that it was this moment that inspired Prince Harry to help Africa's forgotten AIDS victims as he was holding this little baby in his arms and he was told what happened to her, which I won't go into. It's disgusting. You guys can look it up online. This is what caused him to start Sentebale, which means forget-me-not, in memory of Princess Diana. And he vowed to support this girl, her growing up, her education, everything. So 5 years later, they tracked her down and found that 3 years earlier, she was handed back to her family by the Unit for Abused Children that had nursed her back to health because they thought she would have a better life with them than in the institution. So she went to live with her grandmother. So poor is this family, or was this family, that they didn't even have soap. So the little girl was going to school dirty. She was so hungry she couldn't concentrate. And it was just horrible. It's a very frustrating situation. Sentebale would not discuss what was going on. The little girl was not an orphan, so they had no right to keep her. But then money started being mismanaged, and so the money was being pulled out of the charity. Now, here we are 6 years after that, and the little girl is 12 now. That same little girl that he promised to care for is now living in a one-room hut by the charity founded in Princess Diana's honor. This child has claimed to the media that she gets no care, no counseling, and no medical help from Sentebale. She lives in poverty. It's horrible. Some days she goes without food. It's horrible. So this little girl became the touchstone, I guess you would say it, for the foundation of Sentebale, which regularly trumpets its own success to the media. This article claims that they serve 1,100 HIV positive children a month, or 13,200 kids a year. And the article claimed that the previous month at that time, they had opened a new center for people that had HIV and AIDS. So this girl lives in a one-room home with her 14-year-old sister and her 79-year-old grandmother, and they live, eat, and sleep on mats on a cement floor. And she said, I would really like to talk to Harry. I would like him for the clothes and food and school fees that, he said he would give us. It's just horrible. They get by on the grandmother's pension of £25 a month. Can you believe that? So in the 9 years that she's lived in her remote mountain village, the staff from Sentebale have only visited twice. 2 times. Once in 2009 and once in 2013. They gave her £22 and have promised to fund her high school fees, and they haven't heard from them since. Wow. They asked this little girl if she knew anything about the new center that had opened the previous month, and she said no. Now, the newspaper did reach out to Sentebale, who said, sorry, we're not commenting. Yeah. What a shame. Maybe Harry should reach out from his multi-million-dollar mansion and his privileged life and help this girl. In May of this year, Prince Harry praised Sentebale for continuing to help children in Africa. You know what he is? He's one of those people, he's like, I set up the charity, and he pops in every now and then for good PR. I'm not saying that Sentebale's not doing good work, but they're lacking funds, serious funds. I think a lot of what he does is just for PR. Here he is taking a picture with the prince. Here he is talking to the prince and the princess. Make sure you get that photo. He went outside and took pictures with the kids. Now remember, this visit occurred after $33 million was spent on his and Meghan's wedding. Don't you think that $33 million or $30 million of it or $15 million of it could have gone to this charity? Don't you think it would have been better spent? Because I do. And here's my point. He's going to give $1.5 million of the proceeds of his memoir to Sentebale. He's already received like a $20 million advance, and he kept all that money for himself. Every penny. He gave nothing to his charity, but he'll give 1.5. It's like an IOU if the book sells enough to earn 1.5 million, and if it doesn't, then the money doesn't go to the charity. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Yeah. The way he set it up, I'm glad he did something, but it's very disappointing that he's now sitting in a $14 million mansion living the high life and won't even give $5 million of the $20 million advance to this place. And that's just terrible to me. Now, for those people that inevitably are going to go, well, he's donating money. What have you done? I donate on a regular basis to the animal shelter, to Meals on Wheels, and I take coffee and noshes to the firehouses, and I've shown you guys pictures of that. Let's just say that I make $50,000 a year and I give $2,000 a year. That's a certain percentage of my income, right? That's 4% of my income. And by the way, that $50,000 is before taxes, before insurance, before retirement money, etc., etc. Well, you've got Harry with $25 million just from this book deal, and he's going to give $1.5 million. Yeah, so generous. So I want your comments. What do you think about the fact that he started the charity, but since then has made millions upon millions upon millions and has spent millions upon millions upon millions, but hasn't given any of that money to the charity? What do you guys think about the stories about Harry and Meghan having trouble making friends? I believe that one. And what do you think about Eugenie flying over to visit Harry? I think it's absolutely obvious that she's the mole. Don't you guys agree? Don't forget to leave your comments below. You know I love to read them. If you've already hit the subscribe button, please double check to make sure you're still subscribed. And if you haven't hit the button so that you will be subscribed. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Getter. You can email me. For those who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.